Hey everyone, nice to see you again. I hope you're well as can be, and looking forward to our little session right now. So let's do the chanting. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Buddham saranam gacchami, dhammam saranam gacchami, sangham saranam gacchami, dutiyambi buddham saranam gacchami, dutiyambi dhammam saranam gacchami, dutiyambi sangham saranam gacchami, tatayambi buddham saranam gacchami, tatayambi dhammam saranam gacchami, tatayambi sangham saranam gacchami. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the six paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the six paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the six paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. May they be free from suffering and its causes. May they never be parted from the happiness beyond suffering. May they abide in equanimity, free of bias, attachment to the near, and aversion from the far. I shall cause this great compassionate Buddha, please inspire me to be able to do so. Reverently, I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind, and present clouds of every types of offerings, actual and mentally transformed. I confess all of my negative actions accumulated since beginningless time, and rejoice in all the virtues of all holy and ordinary beings. Please remain until cyclic existence ends, and turn the wheel of Dharma for all sentient beings. I dedicate the virtues of myself and others to the great enlightenment. However innumerable all sentient beings are, I vow to save them all. However inexhaustible my delusions are, I vow to extinguish them all. However immeasurable the Dharma teachings are, I vow to master them all. However endless the Buddha's way is, I vow to follow it completely. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Tayata Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhi Soha. Tayata gate gate parasamgate bodhe soha. Tayata gate gate parasamgate bodhe soha. So I just thought I'd mention this today, that obviously the videos of these classes go up on Facebook shortly after the class these days. And also I upload them to the YouTube channel. And the YouTube channel for a period of time actually was getting quite a few views for each class, somewhere, 50, 70, something like that. But I've noticed in the last short period of time, I think 1 week it only had one view. So recently, maybe single digits. So I just share that with you. And if you feel like you want to go onto the YouTube channel to watch some videos or a video, then do so. Get the traffic moving, and encourage your friends to have a look as well, and other people. I know that obviously the Facebook, the post there, that one probably takes a few views, but it'd be nice to have a little bit more traffic, I guess, on the YouTube channel. Keep it going. I thought I'd mention that. I meant to mention it last week or the week before. And when I noticed, because I don't look very often, the only time I actually look on it is if I'm looking for videos to post on Facebook or to share with other people, or if I'm actually uploading the new video. And when I was uploading the new video a couple of weeks ago, I thought, oh, wow, only one person saw that. Week before, I think 70. So anyway, just thought I'd mention it. If only one person views it, that's good, because actually one person gets to listen and see the teachings and so forth, better than zero. But anyway, so the other thing was, I was asked a few times, when is Vesak? I believe it to be sometime around the 23rd or something like that of May, without knowing the exact date off the top of my head. Okay, so I just thought I'd mention that to you. So let's do some meditation before I continue to address the questions with the overview answers related to my book and the subjects in the book. And today's subject basically is equality and equal opportunity are essential for or to create and maintain a balanced environment and peaceful and harmonious environment in relation to people and the relationships between people and groups of people, as well as the animals, and as well as all of nature, the whole planet and beyond. So what I think is going to happen is I will give some teachings on this one today and next week. Okay, so because there was a few things I wanted to mention, and I don't want to rush things, as you know. Okay, so let's now, once again, I say, forget everything I just said. Don't worry. Let go of worry. Let go of thinking of the future and wanting this and not wanting that. And therefore letting go of anxiety, or the possibility of anxiety arising due to thinking of the future. As I just alluded to as well, let go of the past, and therefore let go of worry. What I should have done, could have done, would have done, shouldn't have done, wouldn't have done, couldn't have done. All of these things. Bring your mind inside your body. And release the tension from inside the body, from starting at the bottom of the body, the tips of the toes, working your way through your feet and your legs. As you pass certain areas of the body, if there's some tension there, release it just with your mind, or if that's difficult, then on an out breath. So take a deep breath in and then release it on a long out breath, or even manipulate the body a little, move it a little, stretch it. So as you go past, as your mind focuses on certain parts of the body, release the tension of that part or those parts until you work your way up to the top of your head. And now scan your body again to see if there's any leftover tension that you can release. And if there is, release it. As much as you can anyway. When you are ready, bring your focus to the tip of your nose initially, and follow the feeling of the breath as you breathe in your nose. So the air passes quite cool, back of your throat, past the bronchial area into the lungs. They fill with the air. Then the lungs expand as they do so. Then as you breathe out, when the air leaves the lungs, they compress. The air is now quite warm as it passes your throat on the way out your nose. Breathing in and breathing out. That's all you have to do. So physically, breathing, as well as being here in the present. Mentally, focusing on the feeling of the breath as you breathe in and out. And then utilizing the method to replace the mind back onto the breath if you get distracted. It's all you have to do mentally. Breathing in and breathing out. And focusing on this breath or breathing. If thoughts arise or any mental activity arises, don't cling to it or grasp at it. Don't try to force it away either or deny it. but gently, naturally, simply let it go by replacing your mind back onto the breath. And if your mind starts to become dull or sleepy, then wake it up a little bit by replacing your mind onto your breath more brightly. This way, replacing your mind back onto your breath becomes the antidote for the distracted mind as well as the dull or sleepy mind. So let's practice like this in silence for a little bit. So now we can feel very pleased with ourselves for engaging in this short practice, a short session. And let's fill ourselves with universal friendship, universal love and kindness. Utilizing the feeling of this universal love and kindness, as well as, if you like, some visualization technique, visualizing yourself, your whole being, filling with the white light, which stands for universal love and kindness. Or, if you prefer, white nectar. So fill yourself with this universal love and kindness, which includes, as I mentioned, friendship, appreciation, respect, gratitude towards yourself, honesty, virtuousness, and so on. Included in this as well is forgiveness, very important. Forgiveness is like putting down mental baggage. When you forgive yourself for doing some things maybe you feel you shouldn't have, or not doing things you may feel that you should have in the past. But we hang on to these things sometimes. So part of universal love and kindness is also forgiving ourselves when we're extending it to ourselves, and then, of course, to others as well. In fact, quite often, a forgiveness meditation is practiced just prior to loving kindness meditation. I used to teach this every time I visited the prison years ago, which was every second week for about a 7.5-year period, and even prior to that as well in the US, but not as much. But all of us need to practice forgiveness. Like I said, it's like putting down the mental baggage. And at the same time, you can help others to let go of the past too, and even help them to become more gentle and more honest to themselves. So generating this universal love and kindness in yourself now, you've generated it so much that it now overflows and radiates outwards to others, initially to your loved ones, family, and friends. Fills them with the universal love and kindness too. You can have the wish that they are happy, that they are free from suffering, and that they are peaceful. And now also include strangers, those people that you're indifferent towards. May they also be happy, free from suffering, and be peaceful. And also include those you may regard as enemies too. Fill them with the universal love and kindness, and wish that they are happy, free from suffering, and are peaceful. Now let's go distance-wise, further and further, radiating this universal loving kindness that is generated in your own heart, and radiates further distance-wise, initially around your immediate area, to all living beings now, not just humans. All of the living beings that live in the waters, fly through the air, live on the land, or even under the land, whether they are born from wombs, from eggs, from moisture, or through transformation. All sentient beings, whether weak or strong, great or small, short or tall, seen or unseen, near or distant, born or to be born. May they be happy, free from suffering, and be peaceful. And now your radiation of the loving kindness gathers so much momentum and covers vast distances, initially throughout your whole state or county, and other states and counties throughout your whole country. And other countries throughout the world. First, those that you have an affinity towards, and those you're indifferent towards, and those that for whatever reason you have some negative feelings towards. And have your loving kindness also pervade throughout all of the waters, the oceans, the rivers, the lakes, and so on. Have your loving kindness pervade down to the core of the earth and to the outermost atmosphere. And now beyond this planet alone, throughout the whole solar system and galaxy and universe, until your loving kindness pervades throughout infinite space. We are all interrelated, interconnected, interdependent throughout infinite space. Empty of independence, empty of a lack of connectedness, and so on. Also be present here and now to recite the dedication prayer. Due to this merit, may I soon attain the enlightened state of the Buddha, so that I may be able to liberate all sentient beings from their suffering. May the precious body, Chitta, not yet born, arise and grow. May that born have no decline, but increase forevermore. And may the precious pure of Shunyata, not yet born, arise and grow. May that born have no decline, but increase forevermore. Interesting, this cup. I got this cup in 1988. I only looked at it fairly recently. The other cup I was using, a white one, was actually a little bit chipped on the edge, so using this one. World Expo, 1988, Brisbane, Australia. So it lasted a long time. Like the rest of us, we've lasted a long time so far. So appreciate yourself, appreciate everything around you, okay? So we'll get into this one. I gave a speech a little while ago, I think was almost about 3 years ago, and I reshared the video from it. It was related to Earth Day, and it was an online Buddhist conference run by the Shubhati Buddhist University in Meerut, near Delhi in India, of which some of you are aware. I've given some guest lectures for them, things like that, okay? So, yeah, they had this Earth Day thing talking about how to decrease pollution and so on. And so I had a look at that just briefly, you know, on fast speed actually. So I get through it quickly just to see if I could pick anything up, because this teaching that I'm going to give today relates very much to that. So it's a good time of year, being Earth Day, to actually give this teaching, but this is just coincidence actually that it's happening right now. Okay, so there's a couple of extra things I want to mention related to our physical existence, specifically our mental existence, of course, because it is the mind that we are looking to purify. It's the mind by which we experience everything, you know, but we utilize the body. And of course, we have many physical things around us as well, including other living beings, as we kind of learned again or reminded ourselves of during the loving kindness meditation, as well as a sort of nature, trees, forests, all of these things, inanimate objects, you know, parts of nature that we know nothing about, but we still open our mind to all possibilities during our loving kindness meditation, to open our mind, you know. So today I wanted to sort of cover the actual quote. Now, number 46 of 50 says, equality and equal opportunity for all is essential to a peaceful and a harmonious environment. And so I sort of had this idea and put it into my own words. It came initially from listening to a Dalai Lama teaching. I think it may have been on a cassette tape many, many years ago. And I came up with this sort of saying, you could say, that how can we possibly think that the peace and harmony in the environment, including people, including nature, and so forth, how could we achieve this without having equality and equal opportunity for all beings? And in fact, around this time as well, I used to say, there'll be no racism, there'll be no prejudice between human beings, for instance, when the whole of the human family, you could say, are all interrelated. You know, people from all different countries marrying other people from different countries and then having babies. You know, of course, this was just a concept, just an idea. Then, you know, all of a sudden there's this global race, you could say, rather than splitting it up all the time. But of course, this is just an idea, just a concept. Okay, so I used to share that with people who, some of them probably thought I was crazy, not living in what some people would call the real world, but what we Buddhists maybe call the deluded world, not the real world. Okay, so remember the Buddha said this world is saha loka. So this is the turbulent world, you know, so things are all never, they're balanced in relation to law of karma and the results of karma, but collectively as well as individually, but still there's turbulence all the time. It's never really 100% balanced from the point of view of equality, point of view of nature not being destroyed, and so on. Okay. So just the headings here that I wrote down just last week to cover, talking about self and others, you know, in relation to this. Talk about the four immeasurables in action. I'll just share with you that this article was its own article for a while. And then when I gave a talk for the Mitra conference in Sydney about 4.5 years ago, I decided to talk about the four immeasurables in action. So I utilized this article in the middle of this teaching on the four immeasurables. Okay, so just thought I'd mention that to you. Also, the survival of species and the natural environment. Arising, existing, ceasing, I thought I'd cover as well. Now, this is how things come into existence, exist for a while, and so forth. Okay, I'll go back to that. The haves and the have-nots in the world, lack of equality, in other words, prejudice, and three poisons: ignorance, attachment, and aversion. Clean air, water, food, and shelter, the requisites, the things that we need physically to survive. So I thought I'd cover all those. And you know, I was going to talk a little bit about the Eightfold Path, as I was last week too, but I'll push that back for a couple of weeks. Okay. So this is the explanation to the quote, which I will repeat: equality and equal opportunity for all is essential to a peaceful and harmonious environment. For us all to have peaceful and harmonious homes, communities, regions, countries, and world, all people need to have equal opportunity to have access to the essentials in life. For there to be equality everywhere, all of the time. All people have the basic right to have clean air to breathe, water to drink, food to eat, sufficient shelter to protect us from the elements. We all have the right to have equal opportunity in regards to education, medical assistance, work, transport, and the like, as well as to have freedom of thought, speech, and action, the right to live. It is life that all people treasure the most. Knowing this, how can we harm each other or deprive each other of the basic and essential rights and freedoms? Inequality breeds frustration, confusion, and conflict, whilst equality breeds contentment, peace, and understanding. And so let's create and maintain homes, communities, regions, countries, and a world of equality and equal opportunity for all, and a peaceful and harmonious environment for us all to live in. Now, of course, a lot of people would say, this is kind of like pipe dreams, you know. Yeah, this is like idealistic. Yeah, okay. So if anybody's arguing, oh, you shouldn't think like this is nonsense. Of course we should think like this. Otherwise, we're going to have a biased mind, aren't we? You know, oh, you're not living realistically. No, but I wish for people to be happy. Let's wish for the people to be free from the suffering, for there to be no cruelty, there to be no harming physically or mentally, there to be equality, that everybody has what they need. But unfortunately, of course, in this world, people grab hold of something. Let's say they become materially wealthy, then most of the time they don't share that. They keep it for themselves. And we're all guilty in a certain way for this, but I'm talking mainly about the people that have so much, too much, and not sharing that with the people that don't hardly have anything at all. It's very sad because, the reason why somebody or a group of people would have a lot of material wealth is because they created that in the past by practicing generosity and virtue. And now they experience it. But so often what happens is that this person or people, they get full of themselves and then become greedy, miserly, and they want more and more, and they refuse to give it away, refuse to care for others, just looking at all of the enjoyments in life. Buy a new yacht, buy a new car every 3 months, things like that. So we as human beings, and also people in the middle, as well as people that don't have very much, we live very like a disposable society, or in a disposable society, always looking for something else, rather than, I would say, we should consume less, be more sharing and giving with others, not always wanting to sort of impress others. A lot of the time people want the new product, for instance. I'm talking now in more technologically advanced countries. They're always, a new product comes out, they want that. They don't just want it just because maybe it's a little bit better than the last one. They want it to show off to others so often. And then what happens? Things go in landfill, create pollution, rubbish for the planet. At the same time, by wanting new products, maybe the product, let's say, for instance, it's wood, made from wood, then trees have to get chopped down. So forests are getting destroyed. Deforestation, they call that. That's a nice way to put it, isn't it? Maybe my way is a little bit more cutting, and that is the forests are being destroyed. So the very thing, or the very body of the thing that actually turns pollution into oxygen, is being destroyed at the same time as we're creating more pollution. So somewhere like Australia, for instance, we have a reasonably small population, but if you consider that we are one of the largest exporters of fossil fuel, for instance, to other countries, then we are creating at the source this, and then earning money from it. And so we are creating so much pollution here in Australia. Even if the pollution is created in other countries, it comes from Australian products. So, we can't, as Australians, we can't say, oh, you've got to look at places that have bigger population. Actually, we're involved as well. The whole world are involved. Okay. So I've got on a little bit of a rant about pollution and stopping to pollute. We have no choice, actually. It looks like we have a choice right now, but we're already down the path of too much pollution. Things called global warming, or what's the other one, climate change, or things like that. So actually we are increasing this much faster than it would happen naturally. And so we need to do, to stop that, and also to stop destroying the things that actually clean the planet. It's kind of crazy, really, isn't it? So anyway, so I will go back to this teaching, which that has to do with this teaching as well. Okay, equality, equal opportunity. We know for sure that for some time now there has been a gap, a bigger gap, bigger and bigger and bigger. It's becoming between the small amount of people that have too much or a lot, and the people that hardly have anything. There's a huge gap in there now, and we need to narrow this gap. I don't know how we're going to do it, because like I said before, I was alluding to the greed breeds more greed. Miserliness breeds more miserliness unless it's checked, unless somehow, I don't know whether it's educational bodies or government bodies or whatever, help the people that have too much to start to wake up to themselves and to start to share with the people that don't have much at all. And the people that don't have much at all, some of the people like this actually very happy. They don't need much. But so often other people as well are affected by, of course, societies that they live in and so forth, may be really depressed, really down, and even cannot afford to feed their children, for instance. And this is kind of disgraceful, really. And the amount of money being spent, for instance, on weapons and things like that, it's just crazy. War is very big business. And then, of course, you have all of the people that, like I said, that need things going without. It's very sad. And so, I'll just have a little look at the paragraphs. I know we've only got 2 minutes, 40 seconds left, but I wanted to do slightly longer loving kindness meditation today because it has to do with this subject. And like I mentioned, I'm not going to rush these points that I'm making. I've kind of overviewed it a little bit today. So for us all to have peaceful and harmonious homes, communities, regions, countries, and world, all people need to have equal opportunity to have access to the essentials in life. For there to be equality everywhere, all of the time. Like I said, idealistic thinking, but let's work our way towards this rather than the opposite. What other choice do we really have? If it's the opposite, things will get worse and worse and worse. And I say that people don't like to wear masks during a global pandemic. A lot of people in closed environments, But guess what? If we don't do something about this pollution and the environment, protecting the environment, you're going to be forced to wear a mask. Just to leave the house at some stage, So maybe I sound a little bit dramatic today in some of these things I'm mentioning, but it doesn't matter because actually, if it continues to get worse and worse, of course it's going to be like that. But so we need to improve. At very least, we need to pollute less. We need to look after each other more. We need to look after the planet more. We have to destroy nature at least less. And so anyway, 1 minute to go. Everybody needs to have equality. We are all equal, Think about it. We can all become Buddhas or realize our true nature. We all don't realize our true nature right now. We all have ignorance, attachment, aversion, and all of the other mental afflictions that come from these three poisons. We all breathe air, we all need food, we all need water. We all need some shelter and clothing and so forth. So we're all equal, even though it doesn't look like it. Okay, so equality and equal opportunity, closely related, intermingling with each other. You could say just as compassion and wisdom intermingle with each other. If we have more compassion, if we are wiser, then equality can be realized and equal opportunity can be realized.